Me and the lunch lady were like familia because she was my abuela. Anyways, my grandma used to sneak me free lunches all the time. That was until she got fired for pocketing sazon packets. For my white folks, that's seasoning. On my first day with the new lunch lady, I stacked my plate as high as I could to see how much food I can get away with, because that's what Latinos do. And I swear, the following was out of a novela. A lady in a hairnet emerged from the shadows and said, according to the USDA, 13 million children struggle with food insecurity, and you're one of them. These hard times in the Bronx, known as the New York Times of June 14, 2017 explains, I was a victim of lunch shaming. And over 50% of schools across the U.S. currently employ necessary shaming policies in order to pressure parents to pay for their child's meal debt. Well, what are some of these policies? Gee, thanks for asking. These policies include isolation during lunch, providing alternative meals with little to no nutritional value, and making a child as young as 4 years old do janitorial work in exchange for lunch. You know, America. PBS of April 10th, 2017 furthers. Trump proposed a $4.7 billion cut to America's already struggling lunch system because why not? We don't want them getting huge. We need to end lunch shaming. So let's examine the causes, effects, and solutions. Because the only thing that should be denied human food are dogs. And even then, who does that? So I know what you're thinking. Adelina, you should write a novela about your life experiences, and I attend to my GMU fans, which is why I started writing Yo soy Adelina la flaca porque no tengo comida. No need to beg. I will perform an excerpt. No money in my lunch account. Hi, but I'm so hungry. My Chase Sapphire reward never fails me. Ay, por favor. Causes. Lack of communication and insufficient funding. First, schools don't communicate with parents because they're buildings. The Atlantic of August 8th, 2017 reports, because there is no official policy mandating schools to communicate with parents whose children acquire meal debt, most eligible families don't sign up for free or reduced lunches because they don't know the option even exists. And even if they do, there are obstacles to applying, such as stigma, the intimidation of leaving a paper trail, or simply language barriers. Well, and maybe if Maria would show up to PTA every once in a while, we wouldn't have this issue. Wrong, Karen. Volunteer-based opportunities like PTA only cater to white, privileged family. Thank you so much. Families, maintaining the institutionalized racism that marginalizes low-income families. Second, the school system is getting desperate to save money. And no, I don't mean the administration administrators are eating out of a trash can. No, no, no. They save that for the kids. School Nutrition Association reports on July 25th, 2017. Because 75% of schools ended the past school year with thousands of dollars in meal debt, schools are now resorting to alternative meals, which most times include Wonder Bread and a single craft square. Pero like, at least grill it. St. Louis Post of July 24th, 2017 furthers. 70% of schools provide these alternative meals, while 30% of schools just throw it away. Just to save what NPR of August 6, 2017 reports, 11 cents a meal. That's like a dime and a penny. Speaking of a dime and a penny, ay, por favor, I will give you all I have. You don't have enough money in your lunch account. Does that make sense? You would have gotten the full effect if I did it in Spanish, but anyway, speaking of effects, children are affected through traumatic experiences and poor nutrition. First, embarrassing children in front of their peers can destroy their self-confidence, and some of these policies force these children to clean tables, floors, and even toilets in exchange for lunch. Because I know I love eating right after I clean my toilet. NPR of August 6, 2017 reports that students are now being singled out in school, forced to have their hand stamped or wear wristbands proving that they have a low meal balance. And if that weren't enough, the Atlantic of August 8, 2017 reports 40% of schools are taking administrative action and withholding grades from students who have meal debt. So you couldn't graduate, but it's fine. You would have starved before you made it anyway. It's awkward, because it's true. Second, we should already know how hunger undercuts an ability to learn in school because, duh. Speech over, thank you. If you need a source. Sean Patrick Corso, an associate professor at NYU, explains, students need lunch. New York Times of October 13th, 2017 furthers. Without a proper daily lunch, students are developmentally at risk. Physically, because it impacts their growth. Mentally, because this is a crucial time in their cognitive development. And emotionally. Because have you been listening to the speech? Tell you what, school system, if you want your kids to feel physically, mentally, and emotionally unwell, you don't have to take away their lunch. Just have them join speech. Just kidding! On this episode, Adelina la saca porque no tengo comida. Adelina here's a crumble. She looks up at Luna and she makes a wink. If only somebody had solutions. Policy and crowdsourcing. First, the only way to abolish this lunch shaming practice is to contact your local state representative. Don't email, don't write a letter, no tea, no shade. Call them. States like California, New Mexico, and Virginia have already passed legislation that eliminates lunch shaming practices. For example, in these states, it is now illegal to make brown kids clean for food. Wow, progressive. Pressure your local school board to, como se dice, Not be an idiot. Second, over the year, I've teamed up with Philando Feeds the Children, an organization in Philando Castile's name dedicating to eliminating meal debt. Throughout the year, I've received donations that have helped over 56 schools in Minneapolis get rid of lunch debt. And the speech season is over, and I have a lot of pins. So please, take one. I accept cash, Venmo, and your Mason money. Growing up, my mom raised 3 kids on her own and couldn't afford to get me lunch every day. I can remember many days when I went to school hungry, and I came home even hungrier. Our children not being able to focus in school because they are hungry should not be a topic of debate. But ungrilled cheese sandwiches? Should. So please, remember the causes, effects, and solutions. Because Adelina La Flaca deserves a hero.